Corey, and welcome back to the Artistry Drop, where we feature stories from today's rising artists. If you like being inspired, don't miss out on our weekly episodes, so be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification to be notified when we drop new episodes. Guys, as you can see, I'm riding solo without John today as he takes on a video gig, so you guys are just going to be rocking with me today, and of course, our special guest. And not to mention, let me introduce our special guest today. Our guest today is originally from Hartford, Connecticut. She's a talented female singer and performer based here now in LA. Known for her unique voice and powerful stage presence, she wants to be a role model for young people and motivate them to pursue their own dreams. She strives to be a triple threat in entertainment industry, delivering memorable performances that have a positive impact on her audience. Guys, please welcome our guest, Ariaa. Welcome, Ariaa. I appreciate you coming through.
Yeah.
Yes, you're an amazing artist. So, I had to get you on the Artistry Drop.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming through. Well, guys, typically John is the one that makes the drink of the day. So we're going to keep the drink of the day super short right now. I got a Malibu cocktail. So this is all I'm drinking right now. And Ariaa is sipping on some water. So nothing fancy today. You got that water. Yeah, nothing fancy today, guys. So we keeping it simple. So next drink of the day will be fire, guys. Don't worry. All right, guys. Well, we're going to just go ahead and dive in and get to know Ariaa a little bit more, So like we mentioned in your intro, you are originally from Hartford, Connecticut. Mm-hmm. At what point did you decide to move to LA to pursue your music career?
6 years ago. Well, actually, I've been wanting to come to LA since I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's like Hollywood. I want to go to Hollywood.
Yeah.
But I was able to finally do it like 6 years ago, 2016. Mm-hmm. So I've been here ever since.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, you've been here for a minute then. Right now, me and John, we're about 4 years in now. So this is our 4th year being here. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you have that LA Hollywood experience too as well. No, that's awesome. Was it hard adjusting to LA life though? Because LA is fucking crazy. It's crazy out here.
I'm still adjusting. Yeah. To be honest, I'm such an East Coast girl at heart. It's just everything about LA. I love it here because it's fun and it's, you can network and meet people. But home is going to always be home. So,
exactly. No, I feel the same exact way. LA is just on a whole different level. Coming from Seattle is also just, I feel like it's definitely almost like the East Coast. It's more low key. It's not as fast paced and stuff like that. But when you come here, it's like LA's just fucking crazy. There's so much things you got to get used to. So many weird things that you see here that you don't see back in Seattle, and I'm sure you don't see in Connecticut. I always like to ask this for people that move here. What is the weirdest thing you've ever seen here in LA so far?
It would have to be the homeless people. I'm not going to lie. The homeless people are hit different out here. They're on drugs. They'll try to chase you with stuff.
Yes.
And, as opposed to at home, they're just they're really just homeless and just want food.
Yeah. No, that's totally understandable. For me, our homeless population in Seattle is, it's kind of been high, but it's gotten worse. And this is fucked up, but from what I've been hearing is they'll send some of the homeless population here over to Seattle or in different cities and stuff, which is crazy, because they're overpopulated here. Mm-hmm. I think that's pretty fucked up.
No,
honestly.
That's crazy.
Yeah. When I first heard that, I was like, what the fuck? But for me, personally, I've always said, I've said this a couple times on the show, seeing naked people just roaming the streets. It's fucking weird. One time me and John, we were just driving, it was, we were probably a month in living here in LA, and we were just driving through downtown, and we saw just a random naked dude just looking up to the sky, full butt naked, and bumps all over. I was like, what the fuck?
I can't.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. And then me and my fiance, we're driving on the freeway, and then you just see a dude on the freeway booking it naked, fully naked.
What?
Yeah. I was like, what the hell? This is something I got to get used to. Obviously, another thing too is driving. We were just talking about that. Driving situation here is how is it back home?
Everyone drives 70 miles per hour.
Yeah.
It just stresses me out. I'm such a homebody here, but I wasn't like that back at home, So
yeah, even in Seattle too, it's I feel like I've adapted to driving here, which is pretty bad because you're right. You know, people are driving 70, 80 miles, even 100. You know, and back home, you know, speed limit, typical speed limit is 60 miles.
Yeah.
So it's like I was so used to driving that speed, but it's like once you live here, it's like you kind of have to you know, situate yourself and also drive how they drive out here.
It's so hard though for me. Like I'm so scared because I got into 2 accidents. That wasn't my fault.
Sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, I'm cool, but it's like, you know, it's scary when it's like you're doing everything you have to do on the road, but then. Yeah, that's one thing that makes me want to leave LA.
No, I mean, trust me, you know, the LA is definitely on a different level. Like I said, I mean, I'm pretty much staying in LA until I retire. You know, once I retire, I'm going back home. But definitely, you know, I came here to reach a certain level of success, you know. And once I feel like I reach that level of success, then I'm like, okay, now I can kind of just chill. If I want to go back home to Seattle, I can. But it's like, you know, there's nothing in Seattle. And I'm sure there's nothing in Connecticut. Like,
at all.
Yeah, see, you know, and it's like it brings all of us here, you know, to this one big ass city. But it's a great city because like you said, you know, it's great for networking, connections, and all that. And like I said, I it's a love-hate relationship with LA.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. Like I was just telling my friend who's like a YouTuber, and he's like, he lives in Philly or something.
Oh, got you.
And he's like, oh, I want to come to your show. And I'm like, well, just come here. And he was like, but you told me you hate it here. I was like, it's a love. I literally just texted him that. It's a love-hate relationship with LA, okay?
It is. Like I said, I mean, like another thing, I don't know how your guys' like air and all air quality is out there. You know, in Seattle, it's like whenever I go back home, it's like, oh, I can breathe here. But, you know, here it's like it's like you want to put on a gas mask.
Because it rains a lot.
It rains a lot, too. And, you know, I don't know if you've noticed it, but when it rains here, the rain smells really bad.
I ain't noticed that.
Yeah. It smells really bad. I mean, I guess because I do come from a city where it rains all the time, it feels so natural and there's like really no scent, you know? But it's like here, obviously, it's like dirty as hell.
It's so bad. Like I've never had I have a raspy voice now. Like I feel like I can't breathe. Like I had to buy like a humidifier for my room because it's just so dry.
It's better to get one of those anyways. I mean, even we have one too. And I think it's good. Yeah, it's good to have a humidifier, especially when you live here in LA. So yeah, you need one of those for sure.
Connecticut, it's like we have all 4 seasons, and it's true this season. So it's like when it's summer, it's hot. When it's winter, it's snowing. Yeah. When it's spring, it's raining. So I feel like the air quality is pretty good in Connecticut.
No, yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. Because I mean, just like in Seattle, we have all 4 seasons as well. And I mean, that's the only thing that sucks. Being here, it's like, you know, we don't get that 4 seasons. It's like 1 season pretty much. And then you have those random days where it's like raining and stuff like that. But I mean, LA, like I said, love-hate relationship.
Right, exactly.
What do you miss like most about being home though? Like did you ever regret moving here at all? Like when you first moved here, maybe the first couple years?
So the first couple of years was really hard for me. You know, I was like fresh out of high school. You know, it's just
so you moved out here pretty much right out of high school?
No, like probably like 2 years after, but still, that's crazy. You know, like, and I feel like for me, I was struggling so bad. You know, like because I just came, I didn't care. I just packed my car. And it was like I'm moving to LA. I only had like $1,000, like, and I just had to figure it out. So I definitely struggled, but I never regretted living here because I feel like I learned so much and grew so much as a human here. I wouldn't have been this person I am if I stayed in Connecticut, you know?
You know, I totally agree with you because it's pretty much the same thing in Seattle. You know, like there's nothing there. If I didn't make the move down here to Seattle or LA, I wouldn't have any of this going on for me. You know, like in Seattle, you know, I built a good following revolving around like my photography, but that was pretty much it. You know, it was like I was still going to film school and stuff like that, and you can't do any of that in Seattle. There's like nothing to do with film out there. So I was like, you know what, I got to make it a goal to move out here to LA and, you know, pursue my dream and goals of making it in the film industry, you know. And of course it took me a couple years because I didn't want to move out here without a job. So pretty much after graduating film school, you know, applied to hundreds of film jobs and stuff like that. And nobody was hitting me up. And then finally one came back, did an interview, and gave me the position. I was like, oh my God. Like after like 5 or 6 years of trying to move down here, I finally did it.
At least you had a plan.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, no, but you know what? I hear great success stories on people that actually don't even have plans moving down here to LA. Some people, yeah, they do. They maybe aren't as successful with it, but they work themselves up and they get to a level of success, which is crazy because it's like you came out here with no plan and look at you now. It's like you're from the bottom, now you're here, you know? So it's fucking crazy, like how life works and, you know, stuff like that. And like I said, it's still crazy to see like people moving out here. I mean, kind of like yours. I'm not hating on what you did because I think it's amazing. Sometimes you just really do have to go and do it and see what happens. Because honestly, that's what I was going to do, was come out here, not enough money and all that, and see what happens if I can survive. And, you know, I was like, should I do it that route? Or, you know, because I obviously, you know, you have your parents too. It's like, you don't want them thinking like you're a failure or something. Right, it's like, see, I told you we're going to make it. And so I was like, you know what, I gotta just try it the right way and stuff like that. So, I mean, like I said, I've been loving living out here in LA and it's been amazing, and, you know, still grinding and trying to reach that level. And just, I know it's same as you as well.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's cool because I'm here, but I feel like it took me a little bit longer to reach my goals. Like, that's kind of why I was like dancing more, because it's like it costs a lot of money to be an artist. Like,
no, it does.
When I tell
especially when you're independent.
Yeah, I'm independent, so it's just like right now I'm in the position where I can like fund my career, but before I didn't. So it might seem like, okay, you've been here 6 years, like what are you doing? I'm like, for 4.5 of those years I was struggling. Okay.
No, I mean, like I said, it's crazy. You know, it's gonna take time. Obviously, it's not like you're gonna be coming out here to LA and expect to be successful right away. But this place is so big, you're gonna honestly make so many connections, and you're gonna find a way to make it work out here.
Right.
And I mean, you did it. So congrats to you, you know, like that's dope. Moving into your music now, like at what age did you know you wanted to get into music?
My whole life. So my dad is an artist, so he was like signed to Warner Brothers. So I watched him dope. Like he had his little moment. Like I think it was like 1998 or something, where like the limousines would pick us up.
That's
like
crazy.
We would see him on TV. He was in like a guy group. You know, back then, like it was always about girl groups and guy groups.
Facts.
They were called the Gables, and I just like, we had a studio, a family studio. So like I grew up in a studio, and also my brother is like a phenomenal artist. Like, so it's just like I always knew I wanted to do it, but my brother was so good that I was always like, I don't know, because he was older than me, so he already like had that shine, you know, like Willie, his name's Willie, sing, we'll give you $20, like all the family members. So I'm just like tucked in the cut, you know, like I'll sing in the cut, like but like I didn't want to play with dolls. I wanted karaoke machines. I would just sit there and picture myself like on stage, you know, since I was a kid. So I knew like I always wanted to do music. I first recorded my first song at 13. That's and crazy. I still have it to this day. It's funny. But
that's awesome. I feel like that's something you definitely have to put out there eventually. Because to show, you know, your progression, like that's even the same thing with me, you know. It's like I wish I kept a lot of the film work that I did back in like 2008, 2009, you know, that's kind of when I started getting into like videography, you know, and stuff like that. And then, you know, I decided to go to film school at around 2013, but I just don't have that stuff anymore. And I regret it because I deleted it. It was like, oh, this shit is terrible. I don't care
hate
about
that.
Exactly. So I regret not having it anymore. So you're actually lucky you have something that you can kind of show guys like, this is what it was back then, and look at me now.
Right, exactly.
You know, so you definitely have to put that out there eventually.
Sound like Kids Bop.
Kids Bop, yeah. Oh my God, I remember those Kids Bop days too. Oh my God, did it sound like some Kids Bop stuff?
Yes.
Put it out there. You're gonna get streams. I'm telling you.
Be on the Shade Room.
You're gonna get those streams. I'm telling you. You got to do it eventually, especially once you're like once you reach that level of success, you feel you've reached, you're like, guys, check this shit out. This is funny as hell, and, you know, stuff like that, and something to look back on, because I know people are going to eat that up.
Yeah,
do it for sure.
Okay, I'll think about it.
Okay, I'm definitely going to look out for it for sure, too.
Okay.
So you kind of did mention you moved right out here from high school. So did you not go to college to pursue music or learn about music at all?
So I did 2 years of college, and then I was just like, it's just not me. I'm
Here
just,
or over there?
in Connecticut.
In Connecticut?
But I'm just like, it's just not, I don't want to do any of this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm bored. I'm not paying attention.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm just going there to look at the guys, to be honest. You know?
Hey,
So
I mean, I guess that what is how school is nowadays,
yeah,
too.
like, you know, so I was just like, you know, I have to just, you know, I was training more, like and working on music more and dancing more. So I was just like, you know what? Like, I just need to come to LA. Like, you don't have to be a college graduate to be successful, you know, like, especially nowadays with media and like internet.
Social media, is crazy nowadays.
Yeah, like, so I was just like, I'm leaving and I'm going.
Yeah.
And if it don't work out, I can go back to school whenever I want.
Yeah,
so
no,
it's
facts,
like,
exactly. And I mean, you see like 50, 60-year-olds go back to school and stuff like
exactly.
that. But that's why, like, even for me, like, school was awesome. You know, I got to learn what I wanted to do, but it's a waste of money.
Yeah.
It's a fucking shitload of money. And, you know, like, I could have definitely learned a lot of it now on, you know, YouTube or but remember, I went during a time where there really wasn't much of that going on. You know, like 2013, there wasn't really much going on. I mean, YouTube had just started like a few years before 2013. So nobody was really putting out tutorials or anything like that. But it's like nowadays, it's like there's so many tutorials and I could have learned all that shit on my own. And technically, you really don't have to have like a degree in the film industry to even land a film job.
Right.
You know, it looks good on paper, but that's pretty much it.
But I feel like studying for anything though is still important.
It is. No,
like,
trust me, it is important.
Because even with music, like, I'm still learning so much. Like, I'm starting to take like lessons and stuff, and you know, like just learning the scale and just learning the proper way, like the proper things for music. I feel like it's important in anything, just like in filmmaking. I'm sure you're constantly learning new things
all the time
to do, you know, like, so you should constantly be like trying to elevate and grow and get better.
Always. And I agree with exactly what you said. Like, it's always good to learn. And if you want to go back to school, like, to learn something, go do it. Like, I'm definitely not saying it's a waste or whatever. It's good and you get that knowledge. It's like when you're spending so much money on like a specific, like, music, film, those kind of schools are super expensive, you know, but obviously you come back with knowledge. It's just like when you go out and try to look for a job, is that going to be enough for you to actually find a job that you want?
Right.
And that's the issue.
Yeah, I feel like college, no. But there's definitely like courses you could probably find that's more affordable. But it definitely is important.
Yeah.
Like, even when it comes to just everything, you just always learn. Even if you find a mentor that just knows more than you know.
No, 100% agree. Yeah, like I said, I everybody out there, I'm definitely not saying don't go to school. Go to school, get that education.
Yes, go to school, guys.
Yes, it is important. And like you did mention, even just going to a course, or, you know, you don't have to take a whole on like 4-year or 5-year you know, degree, you know. Just go and learn something that you want, because there are courses out there for like music and stuff that's a year, and I feel like even that would be enough, and that's probably a lot cheaper than a 4-year bachelor degree or whatever, you know.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah, guys, go do that instead, I would say. Don't because I mean, you got to think about it too. There are, like, you know, even when I was doing filmmaking, it was a 3-year bachelor's degree, but it's like I was being taught stuff that I didn't really think was gonna contribute to filmmaking at all. So I mean, like I said, just going to a singular course would definitely just do its justice, because even I have some friends out here that had gone to, I forget what it was called. It's a music school, but it's a 1-year program.
I know what you're talking about. I have some friends.
Okay, yeah, so it might be the same one. I think it's a very popular school.
Is it like it's in Hollywood?
I think so. Yeah. It's right in Hollywood.
Some friends.
Yeah. I had some friends that attended that same exact school too. So even something like that would do what you need to do to learn music and stuff, you know. So earlier you did mention, of course, like your dad was in part of Warner Brothers, and your brother and all that, and talking about a recording studio. Like, I want to get into like the recording studio. Was this something back home in Connecticut and that your dad built, or?
Yeah, we still have it, actually.
That's
like,
crazy.
Yeah, my brothers and my dad basically like live at the studio. They're always there. I could call them right now. They're at the studio. Like, my dad loves music so much. Like, he's gonna be 80 years old still trying to drop a single.
That's crazy. That's crazy though.
I love it, but you know, it's they've been telling me like to get more into music, you know, earlier than I did, but you know, it's just like, again, it's just a lot to be an artist, and I feel like you have to come at the right time, and I feel like right now is my right time. But yeah, like with the studio, we've always had it. It was just always there. Like my family plays all instruments.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like it's literally just home. It's a dog there.
Yeah. Is the studio at like actual recording studio, or is it built in your family house, or?
It's not an actual recording studio.
Yeah, that is dope. Yeah. So dang, that's crazy though. How long has it been there? Since your dad was in a part of Warner Brothers? Or?
So no, like we always had different studios that they like rented out, but it's always a studio. Like you know, like the one they're at now, they've been there for like 5 years, 6 years since I moved here. Yeah, but it's always one. Like it's
there's always, so if that one is down, there's always another one.
He's gonna find a replace. It's like finding an apartment. If you leave that apartment, you're gonna go to the next one.
Facts. Yeah, and that's crazy. Like with your dad, like what is he doing with music right now? Is he like kind of producing or engineering?
So no, he's just still making music, you know, like, but it's nice to see, because one of his group members is like going through a tough time, like had to get his foot like chopped off or something.
Oh no.
Yeah, but they all like came to his hospital because he was there, and they was all singing together and stuff. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, like it was so nice.
So
to
are
see.
They still kind of like a group?
They try to come back.
I could see like the Temptations and coming back when they're super old and stuff like that. No, that's still cool though, because I mean it truly does show like their love for music and their passion for music, and you know, even just being in the studio, him just working on music, and is he planning to drop anything, or?
He always drops music.
Really?
You know, and my brother too, super talented. He produces, writes. My brother is like an alien. You know what I mean? Like, but, you know, like some people who live in certain, like when you live in like a small town like Connecticut, sometimes you don't see the bigger picture. Like it's hard for some people to like even think about packing their bags and moving. I'm not saying you have to always move, because with social media, like sometimes you don't really have to. Yeah. But like being here, you'll be able to see firsthand like people making their dreams come true.
True. Facts, major fact. Yeah. But that's still really cool. Like big shout out to your family, because now I see it. Yeah, it's like pretty much a family. I don't want to say business. It's just you grew into music with like your whole family and stuff. Yeah. So that's really cool. Big shout out to your family and your pops, like sticking with music even at his age. That's awesome. You know, like we mentioned earlier, you do write all your songs based on personal experiences, which I think is awesome, because you know obviously songs nowadays aren't based off of personal experiences and all that. How often does it, or how long does it typically take you to write a song coming off those experiences?
Yeah, so I'm super picky, so I'll go back and change it, but then end up like keeping my original. Your original is always going to be like what is supposed to be, you know, like, but sometimes as an artist you can overthink. Yeah. But like, I guess my process is I'll have a beat and then I'll do something called a top line. So what a top line is like you just hum the melody that you want. So no lyrics yet, but you just listen to the beat, and
that's the first time I've heard that top line.
Yeah. So you just like hum it. However that song makes you feel, like you hum it. Okay. And it's always like my natural top line is always what I use, because it's just like that's what I naturally felt when I heard it. Yeah. And sometimes my top line will have certain words in it. It's weird.
That's still dope though.
Yeah, like, and then I'll listen to it and over, just the top line, and see how it makes me feel and where I want to go with it. And that's when I'll start writing. And most of the time it's something I'm feeling at the moment.
So it's like a top line kind of where you're like, something
like that.
And you do have like those little words in there. Like,
yeah. My voice notes, I got for days.
I guess the first person I would say I kind of know that does something like that would probably be like Charlie Puth. I know Charlie Puth does some stuff like that too, which is it's crazy. And he was showing all his notes, his voice notes and all that. That's super crazy.
Yeah, a lot of artists top line. Like some people get paid to just top line.
That's crazy. Yeah. Dang. So and then like going back into your songwriting, it's like, do you base everything off of like good or bad experiences?
Both. Like I can have like, sometimes I'll write about, it's weird because I've had moments where I wrote about a situation I was going through, and I've recorded it, right? And then people were like, you need to drop that song. But I'm just like, I'm not there anymore, you know?
Yeah.
But they're like, people still can relate. So, like, I don't know. For me, it's how I'm feeling. Like, I could be feeling so in love, you know? And I'm just like, I feel in love, you know what I mean? But then I could be, like, just thinking about, like, some past situations that, like, hurt me or I had to heal from. And I'll, like, write about that. Or, like, you know, just ex-boyfriends. Like, I could be thinking about it and I would just get inspired to write that way. So
that's super dope, though.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You know, you did list some of your inspirations that you were talking about. I didn't put them in the intro, but I definitely want to get into some of like your biggest inspirations. And how does each artist inspire you to pursue? How did each artist inspire you to pursue your music career?
Of course. So I always say, like, I don't have like one person. Vocally, I would say Brandy and Jasmine Sullivan.
Okay.
Their vocals are amazing.
Yeah,
like
Brandy's amazing.
Yeah, they have that alto lower, you know, because I have a lower tone. Like, I'm not like soprano.
Yeah.
So vocally, like, I listen to them a lot, and her, you know, the artist. Yeah, like, those are the people vocally. But also, like, performance-wise, I would say like a Beyonce or Chris Brown or Michael Jackson, because I'm a performer, you know, I'm like, you know, I used to dance too, so I'm just like, it's like all of them together, you know, and I feel like it's good to be inspired by like multiple people, because that's how you become a star. So
no, facts. And you know, good thing you bring up Michael Jackson, because I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. I have posters and shirts and all that shit. Like, because MJ has always inspired me through pretty much, you know, as a kid. Like, I started, you know, imitating his, I'm not a dancer, but, you know, imitating his dance moves as a kid, singing his songs and, you know, all that. But, you know, another thing too is like MJ was also a like huge artist, like creative artist. You know, he pretty much came up with the ideas, concepts for music videos and all that stuff, and that's where my inspiration definitely comes in from. But you know, I've always just been a MJ fan in general, like from just a youngling up to today. And you know, he's like MJ's amazing, and he's always got to be one of those people where, like, you know, I'm sure a lot of people look up to him, just like I do. Yeah,
for sure. My mind is similar. Like, I want those crazy music videos. Like, because I'm like, I direct everything. You know what I mean? I create the whole concept. Like, but it's like, what I want ain't the budget I have yet as an independent artist. So sometimes it's better to do less is more, so it won't look bootleg. But I can't wait till the days where I could just like have this big production.
Trust me, I know exactly how you feel, because you know, I shoot music videos as well. So, you know, it's like when I do work with majority of the artists, they also don't have like the biggest budget, which is totally fine. And that's why usually, like, we do come up with like something that we can utilize, you know, like, even if it's just a couple $100, okay, well, I got a majority of the equipment I need to shoot. We just need a dope location, maybe some dope fits or whatever, and just go from there and try to make it look like it's a big ass budget.
Right,
you know, but like I said, even for me, I'm waiting for that day to work with like $10,000-$20,000 budget. That'd be amazing.
Well, maybe it'll be me and you.
Hey, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I would love that. I love your music, first off.
Thank you.
But I do want to get into like the singles and stuff like that. Your two singles out right now is Brown Skin and Temporary Love, which are total vibes, obviously. And I can tell you're like a true lover of R&B music. Like, are we going to see any new projects this year? Because, I mean, I'm only seeing those two right now.
Yeah. I've been in the studio every single weekend working on my project. So I'm dropping a project this summer, but I am dropping another single.
Nice.
In like the beginning of June.
Okay.
And then I'm dropping an Afrobeat vibe.
Nice.
Totally switching it up on them.
You got it sometimes.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna drop my project like probably end of summer. Because I'm like, everyone's waiting for more music, and I have so many songs already. You know, I'm just picky. I'm like, I don't want to. You know, like, I don't want to drop that one.
No, I know. You probably got a big ass catalog, huh?
I do. Yeah.
Because I know a lot of artists too. It's like sometimes they'll just throw away songs, or sometimes they'll just be like a huge ass catalog of songs that are dumped, and it's like you go through, it's like, damn, these are actually like, because I've seen artists, some of their songs that they've dumped, Even when I've gone to their studio, they're like, oh, this was okay. And I was like, this shit's fire. Like, why are you not using this? But I know you guys are picky.
Yeah.
Like, so, that's the thing.
Yeah, and I'm like, and, you know, when I first, Temporary Love, that was like one of my first, like, songs coming out as an artist. And that was like, we shot that in, like, it was not the best quality, you know what I mean? Like, but like for that time, like it was good. But like my sound, even from Brown Skin, my sound completely like changed and elevated. So I'm excited to like show you guys the new music that's coming. I'm
definitely excited. And I actually really love Brown Skin. It definitely brings me back to like that old school R&B vibes, you know, because like I said, I grew up on R&B music and stuff like that. So I love hearing like, you know, the vibes that you put into Brown Skin, like just still around nowadays, because I feel like it's, you know, R&B nowadays, it's a lot different.
It's like trap R&B.
Yeah, it's like trap R&B. And, you know, like I said, it's a lot different. You don't typically hear that R&B music around anymore. You would have to go back to like the early 90s, 80s, just to hear that kind of stuff, you know. So I definitely appreciate you putting stuff out there still that, you know, it should be put out there.
No, thank you. I'm trying to balance between like, because I'm a 90s baby, so I'm trying to balance between like my era and new school, because you gotta move with time. So
you can't just stick with something that's like, you know, like you can't stick with like early 90s and 80s stuff, so that makes sense.
But I love, like, my playlist is all like old music.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, even for me, you know, like I still listen to like the early 90s like groups like High Five, you know, High Five. Obviously, like who else am I listening to? I mean, you got some of the pop bands and stuff like that. But High Five, New Edition, you know, those are definitely the two groups I grew up listening to, and, you know, I still play their music today because I just love it. Yeah, it's just so good. And that's what I was going to say is like, I definitely get some vibes of like New Edition from like Brown Skin and stuff like that. So I definitely appreciate that sound though.
Of course.
You know, the music video for Brown Skin is definitely like such a vibe. It's super dope, and it's that type of R&B visual you would see on like BET, VH1, MTV, and I believe this might be your first video. Was that your first video? Because you did mention Temporary Love, but I didn't see it.
It's funny, yeah. I shot 2 other music videos. I was gonna drop 2 others, and I had like a big production, so many dancers, so many scenes, but. You know, we ain't gonna talk about why.
No, of course we don't have to get into that. Morely, what I wanted to say was like, what, and you kind of already did answer the question earlier. Is like you're the one that comes up with the whole concept, idea, and all that. Like, are you typically the one that fully does it, or do you usually let like the videography team also take care of it?
I'm always open to collab. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like more people, the better it will come out. Like, I can't just do everything.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But I do, like, sometimes when I'm writing, I also see the visual too. But I came to a point where I'm like, because I was trying to do all these big productions, like Call Times, you know, like, what do they call that sheet?
Call sheet,
stuff like that. Yeah. And I was just like, I don't have, like I was saying earlier, like, I don't have the budget for what I want yet.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like less is more. That's why Brown Skin was just in one location.
But Brown Skin turned out amazing. I mean, like, it definitely looks so professional. And you definitely,
shout out to Snoops.
Yeah, that, like I said, it came out amazing. Like, even for like a small budget, I was like, damn, this is definitely something I could see on like BET or VH1 or MTV. And like I said, the concept was amazing. I still feel like I get that like old school like 80s like 90s vibe and stuff like that. So big shout out to you for, you know, coming up with that whole thing. That's super dope.
No, of course. I'm like trying to like, and I noticed too nowadays you don't really need a music video. You do.
Yeah.
I feel like you should have at least one
you
or
should,
two.
Yeah.
You know, like, but like my next song I'm dropping, I'm just gonna do like 30 days worth of content because social media is everything. Yeah. So but it's still gonna be me singing, just like hiring a videographer, you know, and just like shooting different things for the song. Or if I do a visual, it's gonna be just basic, like me walking down the street. Because it's like, why put so much money in? People don't care. They just want to hear the music.
That's true. I would say, you know, music videos are definitely good when it's for like a super hyped song.
Yeah.
Like if it's a single that has come out, everybody's vibing with it, that's when you know you got to put in like a music video. But I know exactly what you're talking about because I see a lot of those artists now where it's like they're trying to hype up a specific song. So it'd be like just stationary camera on tripod, them just singing like slowly zooming in and stuff like that, and they do that multiple times and release maybe 5 or 6 of those videos to hype up the song. So I think it's just one of those things nowadays. People are like, it's definitely trying to get the song more hype, and then possibly release a bigger music video
when it goes up, because you just want to have that content. Like social media is everything now, so
it is.
You gotta I tell people, like I tell other artists that ask me, I'm like, stop trying to wait for a music video or have the budget, like just like hire a videographer to shoot you singing on top of a car or walking down the street, or you just singing on the steps, or just different content, or even having content of other things on Instagram, like trendy things and stuff like that, because honestly, like, people just want to hear the music.
Exactly. I mean, like I said, people definitely love the music, and I think just having those visuals on social. Obviously, if you're going to be posting on social media, you do gotta have that little visual and stuff, because people want to see it. But you really don't have to shoot like a full-on expensive-ass music video if it's not going to take you
for
anywhere.
every song.
Yeah, not for every song.
Yeah, you should.
There are artists out there that do that.
I know. But I'm gonna stress myself out trying to, like, of course, like when I'm up, I'm gonna be shooting a music video for every song that I drop as a single. But you definitely have to have like the next song I'm dropping, I'm not doing a music video. But then the Afrobeat one, I'm gonna do like a bit. I'm trying to do like something big, because it's a very big record, So I can't just be walking down the street singing.
No, exactly.
So it just depends,
Well, let me know. I'd definitely be down.
I'm
we can
glad
talk. We can talk about it eventually, But that sounds super dope. I saw the clip of Brown Skin actually being played on the Joe Budden podcast, which is super dope, super crazy, because I grew up listening to Joe Budden, so I mean, if that was me, like one of my songs being played on his podcast, I'd be tripping, What was your reaction like when you first found out that your song was actually played on the podcast, pretty, in front of the world, pretty much?
Well, it's funny because I was sleeping, and one of my close friends who helps me a lot with my music, like he's always there, kind of like my manager. He kept blowing me up, like, and I'm like, why? So when someone's calling you over and over, you instantly think something bad.
Something bad,
And then and it's like 5 a.m, and he doesn't do that, So I'm like, I pick up the phone, I'm like, hello, and he's like, yo, Joe Budden played you, and I was just like, it was just like a surreal moment, just because like, they're picky on Joe podcast. So if Joe Budden saying
I've seen his podcast too.
So if they give you the green light, it's like, okay, like, it was a feel good moment, but I'm always like aiming for more. Like, I think that's a lot of artists are like that. Like, one accomplishment we want, okay, now what's next?
Exactly.
So.
No, well, that's still super dope. So congrats for that.
Thank you.
A lot of people are starting to hear about you now, especially, I'm sure, with the help of that podcast. Podcasts definitely help a lot.
No, for sure.
Like I said, here at the Artistry Drop, we're still growing, but it's like we still appreciate artists like you guys even coming on to this small podcast. But we hope, it definitely helps bring out, gets your name out there as well.
No, for sure. I appreciate you guys for like having me and stuff. I love this type of stuff.
Yeah, no, I love podcasts too. I love getting to know new people, and that's why we love doing the podcast, is pretty much, meeting people, getting to know their stories, and that's what podcasts should be all about, and stuff like that. So like I said, big shout out once again. One thing obviously I noticed from your stories and your posts is your sense of style. You killing it. You especially your shoe game. You got your shoe game on. Yeah, no, like I said. But not only that, it's like your fits are fire even when you're in the studio. I noticed, I seen your stories. You're in the studio and you're still fitted up and stuff. As an artist, do you feel it's important to have like a sense of fashion to create that image you're trying to portray for yourself?
Absolutely. Like, you have to have an image, but the image has to be true to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm very like swaggy, I like 2-piece sets and stuff. I like Jordan 1s and I'm not a heel. I'm not about to go on stage with heels. But like, if you like compare to like Chloe Bailey, she goes on with her like bodysuits and her heels, and that's her, and that's her look, and that's what they know her for.
Yeah.
So you just have to figure out what's your style, but it is important to find your look and what makes you comfortable, because if you don't feel confident in yourself, then
facts.
You're
agree.
Not going.
100% agree. But that was definitely one thing that caught my eyes. Like, on your post, just seeing your, you know, your sense of fashion and stuff like that. So keep it up.
Of course.
I see the hype beast coming out of you.
Yeah.
You know? Let's go.
I try.
Hey, no, you killing it. You're killing it. So we are almost pretty much coming to the end of the podcast. Like, one thing I do want to get into was in your intro, you mentioned that you want to be a role model for young people and motivate them to pursue their own goals and dreams. We created Artistry Drop, like I said, to pretty much do the same thing, is inspire other upcoming artists and artists as such as herself, you know, telling stories on their come up and stuff like that. So for those out there watching or listening, what would you tell anyone like an upcoming artist that has a goal or dream?
Of course. I would say, it might sound cliche, but like, don't give up. I mean, I know there's a lot of people who like are in the art, you know, field, whether it's music, dancing, what you're doing, videography, and you might have, you come into like financial situations or like you feel like anxiety, depression, just anything, people, you know, because people could be stressful too. Like, I would say just try to meditate. I mean, I believe in God, but whatever you believe in, you know, pray, meditate, like, just have time with self, you know, and just really like regroup. Like, if you're having those moments, regroup, but don't give up. Like, a lot of people just be like, oh, it's hard out here. Like, the music is too much. I'm gonna just go back to school. Like, no one has made it within a day.
Facts.
Or a year.
Facts.
Sometimes it takes 3 years. Sometimes it takes 4 years, you know. But you just got to keep striving to be better and be true to yourself. Don't try to mask any other image, you know, because if you're not true to yourself, no one's going to love you or love what you do. So just be happy. Remember that you did it for the love. Whatever you started doing it for the love, not for the validation or the money. So
I love that. I got to give you a round of applause for that. That's super inspirational. No, like I said, you put it in like exact words I would also say, you know, so I appreciate that. And, you know, everybody out there listening, hopefully that inspires you guys to, you know, follow your dreams and goals and, you know, stuff like that, because that's why we created this platform, was to inspire everybody else out there. Are there any shout outs you'd like to give before we give end the show tonight?
Yes, I want to first give a shout out to you for, you know, bringing me on the show. My family, my friends, you know, my fiance. Shout out to Benga, because he be there all the time. And, you know, Darius, Golden Impala, and just everyone who supported me. I feel like I've been getting so much support, and I just want to thank you guys so much for just showing me love. I love that. Let's go. Yeah, it's up from here.
Let's go. It's only going up from here. Where on social media can our viewers find you?
Of course. So it's Ariaa Official on Instagram, ITSARIAA Official. And that's pretty much on every platform.
Every platform.
Correct.
And of course, guys, we're going to put all her info in the description box below. But once again, Ariaa, thank you so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate you being here, telling us your story. Super inspirational.
Thank you.
Definitely appreciate it. Guys, well, we hope you enjoyed this episode. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, it's Artistry Drop. If you're not following us on Instagram, you can find us at the Artistry Drop. And if you prefer just listening, you can stream all our episodes on all major podcast platforms. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.